Welcome back to PianoTurtle. Today I continue with my story. Last time it was about lesson 3, and that lesson showed me that Mr. Fabre was taking risks with me. Even he had taught students that could not handle his strategic style of teaching. Observation, reaction, strategizing on the spot, moving forward based on the student's forward movement, based on the talents revealed by the student while exposing talents that were never noticed before by the student. Maybe that's why he shared his story. Not to show off his ability or status or anything like that, but to show that he teaches based on lifelong experience. I went home and took 2 days to memorize the entire piece, the Chopin Scherzo, number 1. And here's how I did it. I did a memory test. The purpose was to eliminate time spent on parts I already know. It took 2 memory tests to reveal all the weak areas. I took a pencil and very lightly circled those parts, because when I'm done, I erase the circles. Don't need to clutter up the page. At first, the pencils will remind you where to practice, but once you have done it, seeing those markings can be a distraction, so I do erase them. And then I tally up exactly how many times it would take for me to memorize the small parts. I took notes. I don't anymore, but I used to. I was surprised, and the tests were really revealing. Some parts, memory happened after just 1 round, and other parts after 10. But it is generally between 5 to 20 takes, so I allow myself 50. Anyway, I also timed each round so that I can find out how long a phrase take at a slow speed and then at a faster speed. The better I got, the less I had to practice. The less I had to practice, the more time I had to keep what I had memorized. You see, I still practiced the same amount, but that time gradually became more and more takes, so that I get better and better at playing it beyond memorization. By spending the time assigned to practice anyway, which is 3 hours a day. The rest of the week, I spent just as much time at the piano, no less, but I was enjoying what I had learned, and it was pouring out of me rather than receiving it from the page. It feels different. When I got to that stage, practicing did not feel like practicing. It felt like enjoyment, whereas before, it felt more like work. Even if it's still difficult, I did not mind it. Music was pouring out of me, whereas before music was not seen by my mind. I still spent the same amount of time at the piano, but most of it was not stressful. It was enjoyable. I played piano my whole life, but I never really felt a sense of such enjoyment before. I have heard parents say such things like, if my child has a passion for it, then we will give him lessons. Or the complete opposite. At the age of 2, he started playing by ear and we had to give him lessons. Or if he doesn't like it, why continue? Well, the reality is it's all somewhere in between all of that. I can say this. Until I have felt this kind of enjoyment, I had no passion for it. You cannot have passion for something you don't know. So if I don't know a Chopin Scherzo, I wouldn't enjoy it. Just like people, if I don't know you, I can't enjoy your presence. But this kind of enjoyment can only come after strategic learning and exposure. Mr. Fabre dared to expose me to the Chopin Scherzo based on some clues I had given him. I'm still not exactly sure what kind of clues he received, but he thought I can do it, and now I did it. Plus, the will to work hard and the hope for working smart must be in the equation. A dose of confidence felt by small victories will build to bigger wins. I certainly did not exhibit the uncanny talent of playing by ear at age 2. I certainly did not play Mozart at age 4, nor La Campanella at age 9. If Mom did not persist, I would not know what I was missing. And if I miss it, I wouldn't be missing it. Would you have missed enjoyment you have never experienced? What if passion is built before being felt? What if talent is dormant and needs awakened? What if these talents are not specifically musical and more universal? And the teacher ties the two together. I remember asking myself, could I have been a better pianist if I simply looked before I leaped and then used the process of elimination? 2 tiny little methods. I started to regret. I thought hard about why Peter did not teach me these methods, but upon deeper reflection, I realized he did, but I did not listen. Why didn't I listen? Was it because I had not heard Michel play? Was it because I was not jealous of anyone? Was it because I was not ready for music at a higher level? Who knows? But ultimately, it is not healthy to dwell on the past or to blame further myself or others. I even blame Mom for not teaching me such simple strategies. I was young and I wasn't mature. I mean, after all, she knew such things. These 2 little methods, she knew. And certainly it was not musical strategies specifically, so she could have taught it to me. Remember, context is everything. I remember those days because I did quite a bit of backward thinking. Grass was still greener over at Michelle's place. Thursday before the next lesson, I went to Michelle's place after school. All she knew was that I went straight home to church to practice. She did not know anything about the scherzo. I had asked her if she would like to hear me play something. She said, sure. When I got done, her mom was next to her, also listening. Her mom thought it was Michelle playing a piece she had never played before. Michelle asked me, where did this come from and how long did it take to learn? I was so happy to announce that it took 1 week and a half. They were both super surprised. And I was surprised too. Then came the 4th lesson. The 4th lesson was not mind-blowing in comparison. It was more pleasant, more enjoyable. Mr. Fabre and I explored many treatments of certain passages. It was just like Amanda's lesson that I had witnessed after the 2nd lesson. I remember time flying by, and 1 hour was short. I was playing a lot, unlike before, and it felt like exploration, like I was in a park. I learned how much more musical I can play. Before I thought Amanda had much patience. Now I realized that it was not patience. The relativity of time became more evident to me, and when I'm at the winning end, patience is not part of the picture. It is curiosity and excitement. And unless I see it as exploration rather than homework, I would not have that kind of patience. Mindset is important. From that moment on, I kept on reminding myself, because I had to keep on reminding myself that every time I learn a new piece, it's going to be hard and smart work first. But since I had the complete experience now, I didn't care. I didn't mind. And not minding the hard work made everything improve. You've got to be willing to not mind the hard work. Mr. Fabre talked about musicality and interpretation, and I tried said musicality at the piano. Some were felt, others were not, because it's his musicality, some of it. But once it's felt, it's mine. It is okay. The end of lesson came quickly. He assigned me a few new pieces, and he told me to take my time learning them. I was surprised. I asked him, how come you're not asking me to memorize it within the week? He said, well, now that I know how fast you learn, you don't need to. Relax with these pieces. Just enjoy the exploration. After all, we have almost a year before you audition again. I was like, what audition? He laughed and showed me the door. He knew I figured out the answer as soon as I asked the question.